And we are back. We're live and we're back.
In the same backyard.
That's right. We're in the same place. I don't know about you. We don't know what you're doing. But regardless, you are with the Pacific Experience podcast with Lloyd and Austin. And guess what? We're with you right now.
We're with you.
That's right. I see you.
Getting weird with you.
We're getting really weird. We are getting weird as fuck.
Oh, this one's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. This one's gonna be a doozy now. He was predicting it. So we have some creepy shit to talk about.
Yeah, you told me about skinmen.
Skinmen?
Skinwalkers.
This boy I don't know about
Stickman,
skinwalkers.
Slenderman, something.
Honestly, man.
Skinwalkers.
Have you ever heard about skinwalkers?
No.
No.
My thing that I can correlate to is supernatural, somebody that is another species that can somehow replicate a form.
So
replicate
you think
a form.
like
Transform? Yeah.
Transform
No, I would.
something?
Yeah.
So
It's like something they shed and put on, or they can just like flip on and off like a switch.
right.
But they're not normally human.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I have no clue. I just discovered this whole skinwalker thing. Anyways,
You want to shut the fuck up? We're doing a podcast here.
Someone just like ran by,
Popping their yodel music.
just
Typical
yodeling.
gig hardware.
Anyways, so I just learned about skinwalkers, probably like a couple weeks ago, and so I'm just gonna start with showing you my introduction to seeing these things, and maybe you can tag along with me, jump on this bandwagon as it enters this hole. You want to tag this hole with me? I tried to let you take it from there and I couldn't.
Tag this hole with me.
You know what I meant.
You should take a little more than 5 seconds to respond.
We're gonna tag this. We're gonna tag this hole together, man. I mean,
Sure.
that's what we do. Can
I use coconut oil at least?
We're going down. We're tagging this rabbit hole together. We're gonna
Skinwalkers. Pop it up. I've got my antibacterial.
I'm sorry, man. I just feel like
spermicide.
I feel like that was just such a genius fucking discovery. Whoa, wait a second here. That's not
With Navajo skinwalkers.
Hold on. I guess that was it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Here. It's this one. Hold on. Excuse us while we look this up.
It happens in the age of technology. Sometimes you gotta double check, triple check, or you just gotta do your own thing. Maybe you gotta find that person's comment and just go fire back on.
Right.
So,
all right, skinwalkers, man. So here's
12 terrifying
Ranker.
stories of skinwalkers. Ranker.com.
Ranker.com is where I got it. And so I will say
skinwalkers and shapeshifters.
That's right. And I will say that these stories I'm going to read you, I will save you the time. I went and looked up to see if the stories were true. Not saying if the stories told were true, or just to see if these were actual claims, not making sure this website was making up their own stories, and these are actual stories out there. It's up to you to decide if the stories are true or not. So I'm just going to fire off here. So here's how the story goes. Here's my introduction into this whole skinwalker thing. So, quote, my father owns a small delivery service that operates out of Farmington, New Hampshire.
New Mexico.
Oh, NM. New Mexico. Shit. We mostly
I already feel the
we mostly deliver packages out to the middle of nowhere. We mostly deliver packages, small packages. Sorry, the page just reloaded. So my father owns a small delivery service that operates out of Farmington, New Mexico, of course. Scary, creepy fucking place out there, out in the middle of fucking nowhere. We mostly deliver small packages out to the middle of nowhere that are too much of a hassle for larger delivery companies to bother with. My dad is the only employee, and we have a few pickup trucks and a trailer. One day, we get a delivery out to Window Rock, Arizona, on the Navajo Reservation, about 2 hours from Farmington. My dad gets the call for the job while he is chilling with his Navajo friend, Travis, and his girlfriend. Travis mentions how he's got family in Window Rock that he hasn't seen in ages and suggests they go with him. I was about 6 or 7 at the time, and it was the summertime, so Dad decides we'll go down together. He can do his delivery really quick, then while Travis sees his family, we can go check out the Window Rock, big rock, faced with a large and a hole that goes to the other side. Pretty cool. We had to convoy in separate trucks since my dad was loaded down with freight. We decided to bring along some talkies so we can communicate with one another. We spend our time in Window Rock. Everything is generally uneventful, and we start heading home along the old highway with my dad and I in front, and Travis's girlfriend in the truck behind us. I honestly don't remember most of the Window Rock trip, but this next part I can never forget. We're somewhere on the highway between the Window Rock and Gallup, New Mexico. It had just rained earlier. We're somewhere on the highway between Window Rock and Gallup, New Mexico. It had just rained earlier in the day, and the road was kind of slick, so we were taking it pretty slow. On the left of the highway, there's nothing but sandstone cliffs, and on the right side, there's a huge field separated from road by a small barbed wire fence. We crest the top of this hill, and down at the bottom of the hill, we see what appears to be a very large dog, sitting back on its haunches in the middle of the road, facing the cliffs. My dad calls over the radio. "Hey, Trav, do you see that big-ass dog?" Travis starts yelling back over the radio. "That is not a dog. Speed up right now and hit it." He sounds almost hysterical. He just keeps screaming, "Hit it. You have to hit it. Please, please, hit that fucking thing right now." So my dad starts to speed up, and as we get a bit closer, I can begin to see it a little more clearly. It's covered in this brown, weary, matted hair that appears to have dried blood all over it. It's still facing the cliffs, but the moment our headlights hit it, it turns and looks at us and has a face. I don't know how else to describe it other than a mix between a bear's and a human's face. Man, bear, pig. It looks twisted and distorted and almost in pain. As we get closer to this thing, we start to realize it's actually fucking huge. Though was still sitting on its haunches, it is about shoulder height with the hood of the truck. We get literally inches from hitting it when it lets out this scream that sounds like someone screaming as their lungs were filling with water, and it leaps backwards towards the field, landing just on our side of the barbed wire fence. Then with another leap, it was gone from sight. Travis comes over the radio again. "Holy shit, keep driving. We have to get out of here. We have to go faster." He kept repeating the last part. "We have to get out of here. We have to go faster." Pretty soon, we are speeding like crazy, and just as we start to come near the outskirts of Gallup, we pulled over. Travis pulls his truck over with us. Naturally, this makes the cop, a Navajo man himself, very on edge, and he immediately asks why Travis felt the need to pull over as well. Travis says, "We just saw a skinwalker a few miles back, and it's been following us." The officer immediately turns white, stammers, says something about a verbal warning, gets in his car, and takes off. We do the same. We didn't see anything else that night, but when we got home, Travis refused to let us leave without taking some kind of Navajo totem thing that was supposed to keep it away. And unquote.
So, in terms of shapeshift, so these basically things that look like humans that can be animals, but they
we haven't even gotten to the shape-shifting yet. I mean, you could guess that.
Do you feel this is common in Native American lore? I feel it is a common trait.
What is a common trait?
I would say like shape-shifting or so. And I just no. So I just say this because in a lot of Native American history, they talk about this phenomenon and they talk about these people, but here's the thing: is that can it also be produced from? There was a huge amount of, you can call it religious, but heavily induced like drugs. That's what I'm talking about, like spirit walks, things like that.
Yeah.
But when it's always hard to tell these stories. You want to believe them. I mean, I really got into this shit. What's funny is I really got into all this stuff was with horror movies and like there's some TV shows with Supernatural.
Yeah.
The early seasons of Supernatural did a good job because they had a lot of the classic
Supernatural. I like the earlier season, the classic cliche supernatural things.
Well, because they talked
At
about
least
like
from the
classic
1800s.
local boogie people and legends. I mean, one of the earliest ones I watched was the Wendigo, which is this Mexican, sort of, I would say maybe not Mexican, Hispanic. Doesn't matter. Don't fucking get on race right here. I don't give a shit about it. All I'm trying to do is tell you what I remember. It was basically a werewolf that, it's like the chupacabra and a werewolf in a sense. It was this really odd mix, but they talked about it in Supernatural. But that's where I got a lot of this sort of folklore from, and what made me really interested about it.
Well, man, I'll tell you, there's obviously in this article, there's 11 more stories. And in the stories, the one that freaked me out the most is the story of two of them.
Turn to it. Let's read it.
Okay, excellent. So now let's look into this more. We haven't even heard, technically, I've never even heard of this Skinwalker thing yet. Now I can guess Skinwalker means shapeshift. So let's dive in here into the second story. You want to take it, Austin, or?
Yeah, I'll read it
myself. All right, man. There you go.
All right. So I know, and this is just doing a note. So this is from a website called Ranker.com. A lot of these excerpts are from Redditors. The first one was, and this one is. But that's just giving more background information. It's not saying it's right or wrong.
Now, a couple of these stories in here are some of the really famous ones. Even Joe Rogan has podcasted about it. I haven't listened to his podcast about it, but it's about, if you've ever heard it, Skinwalker Ranch. So several of these stories that you're about to hear, I don't know, I think it's the second one, but several of these stories are from Skinwalker Ranch. There's actually a documentary being made right now, and it will be coming out. I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, if it's coming out on Netflix. But I heard they're trying to get it on Netflix. Joe Rogan did a huge podcast on Skinwalker Ranch. So I haven't listened to it. Look that up tonight. Now I'm very uneducated about this, so I thought I'd bring in the Pacific Experience fans along with yourself, and tag team.
Because I got a great booming voice.
Tag team this whole together. So let's see.
All right. This all happened about 5 years ago. One night, a few of my friends decided after a night of hanging out that we'd go on an adventure at about 3 a.m. We took a ride about 50 miles to this old Spanish ruin in New Mexico that was once the seat of the Inquisition. I can't for the life of me remember what the place is called. So we jumped the front gates of the place and started exploring. One of my friends brought a flute with him, and he started playing it, and about 30 seconds into his mediocre playing, something started screaming really, really loud on the top of the long destroyed walls of the place. It was going from wall to wall really quickly, screaming the most blood-curdling scream you ever imagined. We noped the fuck out of there. One of my friends pissed his pants and drove for a few hours to the Bandelier National Monument where we planned to camp out at for the rest of the weekend.
Hold on. Can we push pause? That's fucking scary as shit. They're just, dude, that's
who the fuck brings a flute along when you guys are going to look at?
That's the first thing I was gonna say. Who the fuck brings a flute and is playing that shit? I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'd be screaming too.
But time down as a fucking sacrifice. Be like, yeah, dude, sorry we brought a dumbass. Eat him.
Yeah.
That's what you deserve.
Exactly. But I mean, this is shit that we do all the time. Just going and fucking around. Like, oh, abandoned place. We were talking about abandoned houses on a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
If I heard a blood curdling scream like that, creature, skinwalker, person or not, I'm gonna shit my fucking pants. Anyways, continue. So I can understand why their friend pissed their pants. But they're camping and they're out in the middle of nowhere, so it's not like you can run home and grab your handful of Doritos and get on Netflix and feel all cozy.
Exactly.
I can just imagine if I heard that shit when I was out fucking in Wenatchee, out kicking it in Wenatchee. I'd fucking shit my pants, man. Sorry, keep going.
We go to Bandelier at probably like 6 or 7 a.m. and set up our camp. After a few hours just talking about what the hell had happened in the ruins, I went to take a piss behind probably only like 300. I went to take a piss behind our camp about 300 feet away from it. God, these people have terrible sentence structure. This is where everything starts getting a little fuzzy. I remember seeing 2 dust devils coming my way, and when I turned around again, 2 of my friends were there, and they were motioning me to follow them. I couldn't help but follow them like I was being pulled behind them in shackles. I followed them for what seemed like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I snapped out of it. They were my friends. They had bright red hair with my friends' faces and cat eyes. Both of these friends were brunette. I stopped walking, and they looked at me with probably the most terrifying gaze I've ever seen. Monsters in movies are nothing compared to this. I turned around and ran as fast as I could back the way I came from. After like 5 minutes of full sprint, I got back to the rock that I pissed at and found our camp. Everyone was there, still sitting around talking, and didn't even notice I was gone. I told them what happened with the lookalike skinwalkers, and we packed up everything and left probably within 10 minutes and got the hell back to Albuquerque. This just seems too written like a
campfire,
scary tale
story, right? So it sounds. That's what I thought, man, and that's what made me keep reading. So maybe whoever put all these together did that on purpose, because I'm like, okay.
Well, what was the other? Is there any other one that made you like? What solidified it for you? I guess that's what I'm more interested in.
So I will gladly show you. So I'm scrolling here. So let's see. Give me just a minute here. I'll find it. So okay, I'll tell my own version of it then. So what did it for me was as I'm reading these stories, reading them, I was just reading them because I found them freaky, real or not. I like to read. I like the good old fucking campfire fucking story, man. Whether it's true or not, you know what I mean. So I'm sitting back reading this as if this could possibly, be even if it's fake, I'm entertained. So I look into Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is an abandoned place, an abandoned ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is an abandoned ranch that this old couple went and bought. They went and bought this ranch, and
it's out in Utah.
And so when they get there, it was such a
512 acres.
512 acres. It was such a good deal that they were like, "Why is it such a good deal?" Right? It always starts like that. So they get it. They immediately realize that once they move in, it's this young couple. They have kids, two boys, and when they move in, they realize, wow, there's actual bars in all the windows. There's deadbolts in every single door, and there's chains for shackles, as if they had guard dogs on each corner of the house.
Yeah.
So they realize that, and so then they freaky stories start happening there as they're living there. And the scary story for me, Austin, that did it is the story with their dogs and the wolf. So the story is as they're moving in, they're just still moving their fucking shit in, and this big giant wolf appears. Okay, and this wolf is not acting like a wolf. That wolf is acting shy and a little skittish and seems thirsty or hungry. And so he kind of acknowledges the wolf and tries to give the wolf water. Well, the wolf then, when he's not looking, the wolf kind of goes past the fence and starts walking towards his cattle. He yells at his son to go get his gun. He gets his gun. The wolf attacks the cattle and starts eating the cattle and starts killing the cattle. And that's his prize cattle. That's when you're living on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. That's what provides to you and also helps you make your money. And so he gets his gun and starts shooting at this fucking wolf. Well, he says that as he's shooting at the wolf isn't even acknowledging the fucking shots. And so he checks to see if he's hitting the wolf. And he claims, along with every family member, he says that the kids and the wife are in the back of the pickup truck of the other truck, like standing up on the pickup truck, like away. And they said that when he shot again, that they saw a piece of skin and hair even fling off. So they know that he was hitting it. And when they saw the skin fling off, that's when the wolf just kind of barely looked at him, kind of acknowledged him, annoyed, and then just kind of backed away and ran off. Jeez. And as the wolf runs off, he's like, what the fuck? A week later, there's an orb outside, a fucking light, and he's like, what the fuck? And so he's scared, and he's telling everyone to come inside. He then sends his 2 dogs outside to go get it. Mind you, that whole week before, the dogs were just acting very skittish and staying and being, whining and shit. He sees this orb. He calls the dogs out. The orb starts moving. The dogs start chasing after the orb. He hears his dogs screaming, whining and stuff, like down past the hill. It's too dark. Honestly, I think the truth is that he was too scared to check because he doesn't go and check that night. He decides to wait until morning. Waits till morning, the dogs aren't back. He goes out there. When he goes out there, he finds 2 fucking circles burned in the grass with nothing remaining. But 2 fucking circles burned in the grass. Now, this guy telling the story, he is not the only one. Of course, with these incidents, it's not a horror movie where they just, oh, wow, this is scary. Let's not do anything about it and turn our phones off and go hide in the closet. He actually calls the police. So there's police records of all this shit. There's the military came and investigated, dude. You know what I mean? Like the fucking, I can only imagine, I'm sure like the CIA or the FBI came to investigate because now it's fucking blocked off. It's government property. Skinwalker Ranch now.
Oh, jeez.
Now it's like an Area 51. Because it's where the most UFO sightings are. It's where the most paranormal activity happens.
Just UFO Ranch.
I mean, yeah, it could be called UFO Ranch. Crazy fucking shit, dude, about Skinwalker Ranch, man. So, I mean, that's...
included vanishing... So, wait. Read this sort of thing. According to the Kelleher and Knapp, they saw or investigated evidence of close to 100 incidences that included vanishing and mutilated cattle, sightings of identified flying objects, or large animals with piercing red eyes that they say were not injured when struck by bullets, invisible objects emitting destructive magnetic fields.
I mean, what the fuck?
Among those involved were retired Army Colonel John B. Alexander.
You know, man, there's a lot of the stories about the Skinwalkers, and what does it for me, I guess what sold me on it, is how serious adults and old people take it. Like, they are terrified about it. They avoid the topic. So they treat it as a religious thing. To me, if there's like religion involved, I guess it's more real to me because then people are taking it very seriously. So like, I don't know, man, if when everyone in the area is passing around a certain totem because they're fucking deathly afraid of skinwalkers, I'm just wondering, like, damn, like, then it must be real. I'm not saying the skinwalker is real, but at least whatever it is
well, it has power.
It happening is real
because these people have those totems that make it feel that they can't be harmed with this totem. That could be totally false.
And order now on the PacX Experience website. These totems for only $4.99.
We mail them. You buy them.
Yeah.
But dude, definitely, especially the unexplained things you just want to investigate. I mean, I'm definitely believer. I'm definitely a believer of Bigfoot. I'm definitely a believer of Bigfoot. For all the technology and things that we have to surveillance, there are plenty of things, especially in the ocean, that we don't know about. We have hardly explored the ocean, so there's
a lot going on in the universe that we aren't aware of. And there's a lot going on that's happening where we live that we aren't aware of.
But we like to focus on certain things, and we can be missing some stuff. And it does not at all. I've worked with people. I worked at REI for a little bit, but hiking a lot here in the Northwest, you always have people that tell monster stories. You always have people. But here's the thing, is that some of them are definitely true. I mean, there's hearing about bear encounter stories with some people where, like, there's no way a bear could be that big. And then, yeah, sure as shit, the park people or hunters or somebody kills a bear that is that big, and it gives validity to that story. I've heard plenty of things in the Northwest in terms of like Bigfoot-like creatures. Like, not only, like, we're not talking about like cougars or big mountain lion cats. We're talking about cats that are mammoth, that you want to call saber-tooth, but people that
saw
have
a video today of it on Facebook, dude, of this person in Eastern Washington with 2 fucking cougars in her backyard, and she was filming it. And these cougars, dude, they were the fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, man, of fucking cougars, dude. I mean, they were sexy, dude. They're silk fucking fur with the fucking muscle behind it,
That's
dude.
so terrifying.
I mean, I thought of a tiger because they look like house cats, dude. When you look at their face, you think house cat. You look at the body, you think fucking Hercules.
Oh no, dude, it's so terrifying. I'd much rather, if being out here, I'd much rather get attacked by a bear than a cougar. Because bears are very
bears cut
hunters.
To the chase.
Everybody,
cougar wants to fuck
they're
with you
very
a little bit.
aggressive. It's like dumb aggressiveness, but that's how they are. Like the cats, they're very chest manipulative. All of it. No way do you want to get stalked by a fucking cougar. I had one of my old roommates. He's married. I'm gonna be in his wedding, but he just went hiking in the mountains in California, like Northern California.
Nice,
I believe.
Nice.
They got stalked the entire time by a cougar, and he has photos of it. And every single night, he's taking photos. And I mean, he's a hunter. Alan's done a bunch of like outdoor shit. He taught me a lot of like hardcore outdoor stuff, and that's very small because I hardly ever went with him. But he's hunted for a long time. And yeah, he said he got stalked.
Did they stay overnight?
Oh yeah, for multiple days, and they got stalked by. They believe they got stalked by the same cougar for multiple days.
Wow, that's
and
crazy,
that's the thing,
man.
too. It's like cougars will stalk you.
They will,
and it's not because they want to eat you
half
the time, but you don't know half the time either.
Yeah,
so it's not something you can be.
They're just checking you out because the same way the lady was filming the cougars in her backyard. When you're in their backyard, they're checking you out too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the fuck you doing, man? Are you food? Are you danger? Or what?
Oh, no,
we're
gonna fight cat.
Yeah. Before we ended, did I tell? I might have told it on an episode before. Did I tell you when we were out in Wenatchee and how we thought a cougar was stalking us?
Mm-mm.
Well, when we were I brought up Wenatchee several times on this podcast, but when we were out in Wenatchee, man, we went. We set up camp because we got stuck in the snow, and it was late at night. We were like, we can't keep trying to drive. We need to just park the truck, and we just fucking walked 20 feet from the truck and then set up camp. And we still felt we were out in the middle of nowhere because of the snow. The snow had not fallen until the night we got there. So anything on top, any prints on top of the snow was from that night.
Well, now everything's muted too.
Huh? Now everything's muted too. Exactly. Now, ironically, it got warm during the day, and we were pretty warm. No, we weren't. It was so fucking cold.
Warm for being in snow.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It wasn't as bad as you would think once we got that fucking fire going. But anyways, the next day we hike, I don't know, man, probably just 1.5 miles, not too far. It felt like a lot farther because of the snow. We went uphill, up in the valley, and we set up this little range where we can fire off some guns. And we find a really sick spot where there's like this hut. Halfway through firing guns, and 3 hours into it, mind you, by the way, we started a fire in the wild. It was fucking awesome with flint. We used flint and a knife in the snow, and we started a fire. It was fucking badass. I was very pumped. And we, 3 hours into it, we look at this hut, and John and I, who's been on this podcast before, and several times, we look and we're like, dude, is that a cougar den? Because we see like some fur, and the fur I'm thinking is either fur from the cougar or bunny fur from cougar eating bunnies. And I'm looking for poop or something. I'm just looking for more because we're like, whoa.
Are you in it?
We're not in it. No, we're standing outside of it. And it's like probably 5 feet to our left where the tree is that's holding branches above us where we were hanging out, basically making a fire and eating jerky and shit, shooting fucking to the north. In this fucking pounded wall, like this wall of
mountain
of the mountain that we were shooting into, and so as we're sitting there, we're looking at inside of it. I'm looking for other things. John like goes to try to look inside, and we both kind of have like a moment where he stops, and he looks at me, and then I just start fucking laughing because I'm just imagining John sticking his head in there and there's this fucking cougar paw just slapping him in the face. I mean, just scratching his fucking face. And I'm just like, dude, my butthole puckers for a second. I'm like,
yeah.
He sticks his head in there, and I'm like, we have like guns. So now I'm wondering, we concluded this definitely, okay, we're not for sure. We didn't see the cougar, we didn't see droppings. We're pretty sure this is a cougar den. It's got to be, dude. You can tell it was active. The paw prints are all around. Either that or a cougar checked it out. This den out. This den is for something else. Maybe it's a bunny den. I don't know, dude.
Maybe it's his fuck den.
Maybe it's a fuck den. I don't know. Anyways, all I know is that now this cougar has got to be far away after us shooting off motherfucking guns, you know, for 3 hours straight. Now the cougar's definitely got to be gone. Well, we start hiking back, and we go to sleep, and the next morning, I wake up, I get out of the tent, and there's fucking paw prints outside of the tent. The motherfucker followed us back to our fucking camp, and I can't tell you any other more signs because we only stayed another 2 nights after that, and the snow had melted actually because it came out and got hot. But yeah, man, it's a scary thought because when you don't have your claws, which is a gun, a man's invention, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or at least some fucking mace.
When
you don't have your gun, you're clawless in the wild. But it just with these felines, you look at these house cats, even look at these dogs. When you're out in nature, man, when you're in their territory, it's fucking terrifying. Because not only can they scratch you up, can they eat you and shit, but you're in their fucking territory. Man. It's like the Vietnam War, man. We're in their territory, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Too soon? No. Well, I don't know. That brings us up to this good old hour now. So it's been now a good old hour since we've been doing this podcast here now, so we're actually going to be bringing it here to an end. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, we will be, and that's just kind of how we kind of end it right there. But this is the Pacific Experience Podcast. This is episode 14. Thank you so much to the listeners out there. You can tag us on everything.
Thank you. All the downloads, outreach, everything. Please continue to listen. Talk to us. Let us know what we should talk about. We're just trying to talk to you about what happens around here. We want to give you perspective on like what goes on this side of the country.
On this side of the country, up here in the north, up here on the west, or over here on the west, or even down here if you're listening to us from way up in fucking Canada. But that's how it goes. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. We've had quite a few beers. It's late. We're tapping out. Please hit us up at PacX Podcast. PacX Podcast. That is on Facebook. You can also reach us at Pacific Experience at Gmail. Please give us some feedback. Give us a thumbs up on the videos or on the podcast you do like, and go check us out on the Facebook. Let us know what's going on. Hit us up. We'll see you next week on Tuesday, episode 15. Woo! Sugar-dee. Hey.